Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to completely shatter the illusion of massive, open-world multiplayer games. You know that feeling when you drop into a sprawling Armor 3 campaign? It feels like you're stepping into this living, breathing world, right? Well, behind the curtain, what feels like an endless map is actually a highly efficient, dynamically scripted factory. We're going to break down exactly how this works under the hood by looking at the Altis Mercenary Company, or AMC, framework.
So let's dive right in, because this is where the magic really starts. You'd probably think an entire island campaign means placing thousands of enemies, buildings, and civilians by hand. But get this, if you open the AMC mission in the Eden editor, you're going to find exactly 8 playable West units and just 3 starting markers. Literally, that's it. The entire campaign, the HQ, the contracts, the UI, none of it is pre-built. It's all dynamically generated by backend SQL scripts while you're actually playing.
Now, to understand how these scripts don't just instantly crash the server, we've got to talk about the absolute most important concept in Armor 3 multiplayer scripting: locality. In multiplayer, an object, say a truck or a soldier, exists on everybody's screen, sure, but only one machine is authoritative for operations on it. For instance, moving your own character has to be done by your machine, while the server owns the overarching campaign state. Knowing who owns what is basically the entire foundation of the AMC architecture.
Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to look at 1. The data-driven contract lifecycle. 2. Ambient Civilian Life Simulation. 3. Centralized kill event accounting. And finally, 4. The 3 tiers of persistence.
All right, Section 1. Data-driven contract lifecycle. The back-end kitchen.
Think of this pipeline kind of like a really well-run restaurant kitchen. When a mission starts, a server script called Generate Contracts takes the order. It selects a target sector and a contract family. Then, Create Objective physically spawns the actors and vehicles into the world. While you're out there fighting, a loop called Contract Monitor is constantly checking in. Did you succeed? Did you fail? Run out of time? Finally, the system cleans up the temporary assets and hands out your rewards. It basically cooks the meal, serves it, and does the dishes.
And here's the real kicker that shows the power of data-driven design. That exact same 4-step pipeline we just talked about, it handles 24 different contract families. We're talking VIP extractions, hostage rescues, radar strikes, Healy raids, the whole shebang. By standardizing that life cycle, the engine can spin up incredible variety without needing a bunch of custom, messy spaghetti code for every single scenario.
Moving right along to Section 2, Ambient Civilian Life Simulation, the magic trick.
This is honestly a magic trick designed to make the island feel alive. Because here's the truth. Spawning and simulating every single civilian and car on Altis all at once would literally melt the host server. It's a classic multiplayer trap. Instead, the AMC framework uses dynamic spawning. It relies on a manager script to only spawn pedestrians and traffic in the immediate bubble around active players, and then instantly deletes them when they aren't needed anymore.
And depending on your hardware limits, the engine scales this dynamically. Just look at these global targets. If your server is chugging, you can set density to low. That caps the simulation at just 12 pedestrians and 2 traffic vehicles, and cleans them up once they're 1,200 meters away. But if you've got a powerhouse rig, very high bumps that up to 64 pedestrians and 11 vehicles. It is vastly cheaper and way smarter to just populate the bubble around the players rather than the entire map.
Let's hit Section 3, Centralized Kill Event Accounting, the HR desk. Imagine a corporate HR desk. You absolutely do not want 5 different managers fighting over one employee's paperwork at the exact same time. Well, a massive pitfall in Armis scripting is installing multiple, unrelated scripts to handle what happens when a unit dies. If an AI suddenly changes network owners mid-combat, and yeah, that definitely happens, multiple fragmented kill handlers can fire out of order, duplicate data, or just crash the whole thing due to locality bugs.
The AMC fix for this is beautifully simple. A script called init campaign installs just one single server-side event handler for kills. That one centralized HR desk receives the event and then safely dispatches the info where it needs to go. It updates your general PMC accounting, it removes dead persistent AI from your roster, and hey, if you accidentally shot a civilian, it applies the escalating conduct penalties. It is one source of truth with absolutely zero network conflicts.
Finally, Section 4, 3 tiers of persistence, the filing cabinets.
ARMA gives you a few ways to store data, and AMC treats them like different types of filing cabinets. Let's compare the personal locker to the bank vault. Profile namespace is data that belongs totally to the client. AMC uses this for your personal loadout. It's your locker.
Your gear follows your specific profile. But mission profile namespace, that's the server's bank vault. That holds the shared authoritative campaign save, the company money, controlled territory, reputation. This split is absolutely crucial. It completely stops individual clients from maintaining conflicting copies of the shared territory or finances.
And just real quick, the third tier, which is kind of like a temporary sticky note, is the mission namespace. This handles temporary runtime state like the specific details of the active contract you're currently running. But the second the mission ends or the server restarts, poof, that data disappears entirely, leaving a perfectly clean slate for the next session.
Which brings us to the golden rule of locality.
Locality is a design constraint, not an optimization detail. That quote right there from the source material is the absolute core of everything we've looked at today. Every single bug, server crash, or duplicated item in multiplayer scripting almost always comes down to forgetting this one rule. You have to know which machine is authoritative over which piece of logic. The server owns the campaign state, the client owns their UI and character movement. Respecting that boundary is exactly what allows 8 simple units and 3 markers to generate an entire, sprawling war.
So, I'll leave you with this. Knowing that these massive, living worlds are really just the result of highly efficient, dynamic code, a factory operating entirely behind the scenes, spawning exactly what you need right before you see it and deleting it the moment you look away? How does that change the way you look at your favorite multiplayer games? Next time you're awestruck by a massive map, think about that invisible script manager aggressively building and deleting the world just outside your sightline to keep your PC from catching fire. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning how your digital worlds are built.